And we are live. Welcome, welcome to our backstage, our virtual backstage at Real Magic Live. Today, it's about how world-class stagecraft really powers the experience that is Real Magic Live, where a show meets a seminar. And we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Dirk de Klut, and he's from Belgium, and he's one of the best in the world at designing live event experiences. And we're so grateful to have him here. I will introduce him in just a minute. So, to those of you who are following us, this will be in English. You're used to hearing it in Danish, but it will be in English today because Dirk is English speaking, among other things. He speaks several languages, but I think English is the one we need to use today to be able to communicate around Real Magic Live. But if you're with us, let me know that you are here live, and then I'll bring Dirk in here in a minute. But Real Magic Live, as I said, is not just another personal development event. It's a full-scale live experience. And we bring a show and a seminar together in ways that's never been seen before. Dirk has been designing events for Celine Dion, Cirque du Soleil, some of the biggest names in the world. And today you will meet Dirk, who is our creative director for Real Magic Live. And you will also get to understand what makes the experience so unique compared to anything else out there. So in the next 30 minutes, we are going to reveal to you how stagecraft, storytelling, and transformations combine, and why attending Real Magic Live in Odense is an experience that just cannot be replaced by anything else. And in a world of remote learning, AI, distance, it's never been more important with human connection and live experiences and personal growth, of course, which is more important than ever before. So I'm so looking forward to diving into it. And I am so honored and I'm so grateful to be able to introduce to you Dirk de Klut, who has led creative design for arena level productions worldwide. And now he's bringing that mastery to Denmark for our first Real Magic Live event in 2.5 years. Mr. Dirk, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Hello, Anders. Thank you for having me on the show. And
I
yes, let's dive into what we've been working on for a couple of months now.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a really mind expansive journey. Like, I thought we had taken it pretty far with Real Magic Live in the past, but I realized it was nothing compared to where we are now, and I'm so grateful to to you and the rest of the team for all the incredible work that's been done. And in your perspective, you have created events for, like I said, some of the biggest names in the world. Like, how has that been like? First of all, how has it been like to be able to create and impact literally millions of people?
Hmm. Yes, I must say I come from a modest beginning where I worked in the world of fashion, doing fashion shows, styling fashion shows. I studied on the Royal Academy of Antwerp, but I got more and more interested into the staging of
Mhm.
it, the images, the scenography, everything that surrounded a model on stage. And
Mhm.
so in the end, I evolved into events, corporate events, but I was always fascinated by image, film, and theater, physical theater. And then in 2000, I got a request from Franco Dragon, former director of Cirque, to collaborate on a show together. And this was the opening of the show of Celine Dion in Las Vegas in 2003. And we worked on that show for almost 2.5 years. So, I mean, these productions are of a different scale, but
Yeah.
still, it's going. First, you go into the depth of who is Celine Dion. So, in this case, who is Anders Hansen. So, and you delve into that energy of what the person represents. And I'm giving you just this one example. I've done many other projects with many other people, but you try to connect with the person, the actor, the performer, the dancers, and so forth, and then you start to build from there into staging, into images, into music, into everything that surrounds what is happening
Mm.
on the stage, and finding the right balance. And this is also what we're going to do here with Real Magic Live, is finding the right balance between what we surround you with and what's going to happen physically on stage with you talking to the audience.
Yeah, wow. It's so fascinating to, I mean, I learned so much about what truly makes world class in the collaboration with you and the rest of the creative team. I mean, this is almost feels like we're like it's like a mini city now creating this event. Like there's so many moving parts to it.
Yes.
But what makes, in your opinion, an event that really sticks with people, that really
Mm,
impacts them on a deep emotional level? Like, what are some of those components?
yes. You know, a show can be very minimal,
Hmm.
but in the end, the time that the audience is in the theater, in the space, in the venue, you want to catch them, you want to touch them, and not only visually, but also emotionally.
Hmm.
And I always try to find the balance between what I call between head and heart, between what people see, what people think, but also how they are touched on a
Yeah.
more inner, deeper level, and the things that they will take home
Mm.
afterwards. That's also one of the key questions. You can do a show, you can do any production with a huge stage, small stage, whatever.
Yeah.
But what do you want the people to take home with after you delivered the project?
Mm.
And this is also one of the key questions that we're working on here.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's always been important to me, that Real Magic Live isn't just a show or a seminar and you leave inspired, but you leave sort of with nothing that stays with you.
Mm,
This time around, I really feel like what we're creating here is something that will stay with people for years going forward because
mm,
of the moments and the of course the materials, the teaching materials, but the moments that sort of weaves and strings it all together.
mm,
And that's really where I find your mastery to be so exceptional, because it takes it to a completely different level, as if it
mm,
were just a show or a seminar. Now, I know we talked about this, Dirk. It's hard to talk about the show without giving too much away because there's a lot of surprises in there. But
mm.
um, how would you say, like, what is one thing we can sort of give away, but without giving too much away, about new technologies that we're incorporating?
Well, of course, I haven't seen or experienced your former shows, but you talked me through them. You showed me a couple of things. I think one of the main difference, if I may say, and without showing too much, without explaining too much, I think the worlds in image that we're going to create around you as a character on stage are going to be very key.
Mm.
And I must say, when we started talking about the project, I mean, I have an experience to doing shows of 20 minutes, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you were talking about 2.5 days. So that, of course, had a little uh, change in my brain. I needed to rethink a couple of things, because usually when we have a show, let's say 1.5 hour, 90 minutes, we build on tensions. We
Mm.
create a high tension, we go a little bit lower, we go into some funny story, we go back to something very intense, something wow, and then back to something more poetic.
Mm.
Here we have to keep that tension the first day during what, 8 hours,
Yeah.
second day another 8 hours, and then the third day, what, 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
So this is a huge challenge. And I think, to answer your question, the one thing that we might be able to create that tension throughout these 2.5 days is the worlds that we're going to create with image around, and the
Yeah.
balance. And music is also, of course, a very important element, but the main block of what you're going to do is the teaching. But
Yeah.
then there will be key moments that we really isolated from your talks, from your days
Mm.
that you're on stage, and we're going to create something really unique with those moments.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Exactly.
that explain a little bit what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to talk about without
yeah.
talking
But
too
I
much
try
about
not
it.
to give away too much here. Yeah,
But that's where lighting, where sound, where projection
yeah,
technology, a totally new technology that we're incorporating,
yes,
which I'm so excited about. which makes the entire thing just come alive in a way that we've never seen before. And I dare say never been done that way before,
Mm,
really, in this format, at
mm.
least with a show and a seminar in one. That's really
Yes.
going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we talk a lot about experiences, but at the end of the day, when people truly transform, it's among other people who are truly transforming, because we feed off of each other's energy. Like, we see that
Mm,
happen always throughout the events. But I'm so looking forward to seeing this one, because I know we're going to take it to the next level. Like, when we have 700 people at the same time going through that experience, that's going to leave an imprint, and it's going to leave an imprint in everybody,
mm.
because there's going to be surprises, there's going to be emotional moments that are really key. So if you're watching here and you're excited about joining Real Magic Live, let us know. You can still secure your ticket, and it's very easy. You just type RML in the chat and we'll send you an invitation. There's multiple ways to attend. You can attend by yourself. You can secure 2 tickets at a very favorable price, and you can also secure 4 tickets at a time. When you secure 4, you actually only pay for 3, so that's a really good deal. Now, Dirk, we talk a lot about why live matters, live experiences matter, and we've had some great dialogues about it when we work together here in Miami as well, and virtually. But why do you think it's more important now than ever before to really create these experiences at a new level?
Well, for me, and it's part personal story also. I have a fight. Is that the right word? A conflict with
Mm.
digital and analog.
Yeah.
And just to give you a little hint of, you will laugh, but I'm still, and this is an experiment that started in 2008. I'm still with my good old Nokia. I'm working with the highest technologies that are available on the market for
Yeah.
live entertainment and shows and etc. But I still keep to that experiment to see how can I continue doing the work that I do,
Mm.
creating the worlds that I do, without being completely immersed in the digital world.
Mm.
And it is important, digital aspects, and they give us a lot of positive things also. But I don't want to be pushed in a direction that I sometimes think, how far do we need to go?
Yeah.
Now, this brings me to your question. Live. I think the analog experience of having people on a stage, people in a theater, public connecting with people physically, and again, this is again a digital experience that we're doing here, but being live, it's
Yeah.
becoming more and more important, I feel.
Yeah.
And I've done shows, and this was before the smartphone, so I'm talking 15, 17, 18 years ago, where we said no cameras allowed, because we wanted people to experience the theater,
Yeah.
to experience what was going on, and not through cameras and everything. The extreme example of this was a couple of years ago. I did a show in Wuhan, China, the Han show, and we had a full theater with people, and they were all watching the show through a smartphone. So they were basically watching what's happening on stage through a
Yeah.
smartphone, and we had to bring in ushers with laser pens to actually focus on the smartphones to say, hey, hello, this is a
Yeah.
live experience. Be
Yeah.
in the moment with what's happening on stage and
Yeah.
not through your smartphone. And I think that explains a bit why I'm so into live and connecting with people in a physical way.
Yeah. Wow. You're the only person I know without a smartphone. And I love it. I have so much respect and admiration for your worldview and the way you think. Because as a performer, there's nothing worse than seeing a cell phone in front of you as opposed to a smiling face or an
Yes.
engaging person
Yeah.
or a person that transforms. And that's what we always will be an advocate for as well, doing Real Magic Live. For it to be able to land emotionally, you can't you have to remove the smartphone and actually immerse yourself in what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's why we also see genuine human connections being built. Like, we
Mm,
see people meeting their one and only. We see people create businesses together. We see people truly taking their life to the next level because they're met at a human level
mm,
for 2.5 days, and it's
mm,
truly amazing what happens. So, and to on that note, like, that's where I believe transformations truly occur. when we're being seen and experienced on three levels: consciously, subjectively, and physically. We live on three planes of existence. And if we just isolate ourselves to one way of experiencing the world, we're truly shutting down what makes us unique. And that's what we're trying to expand on doing Real Magic Live. So that's there's just so many things I'd love to bring up today. One of them is how, like, what made you sort of go into this project? I mean, you've designed some of the biggest shows in the world. You could literally be doing anything. What made you say yes to Real Magic Live?
Mm. One of the first triggers I already mentioned is 2.5 days of show. I said, wow, how are we going to pull that off? That's one thing. But the other thing is the combination between motivating people, and I've seen motivational talks and performances like that. It can become very dry, inspiring, but at some point, so how do we use the force of what we do to enhance that, to bring in some extra layers of emotion, of attention, of inspiration? I think that's what actually brought me also deeper into the project, all the ideas that we talked about. And I still want to, just to close on this, we will do the show in Denmark. Of course, I'm going to be there for 2.5 days and not understand a word of it. So I will only maybe have the experience really of the combination, how it's really going to affect people in Vegas or when you go to America. But of course, I will see the reaction of the people, and I will see the connection with the people, and I'm going to focus on that. So
exactly. Well, that's what Demo, our producer, has. That's the process he has gone through, because he has seen the Danish version of it, the English speaking version of it, and so he knows, like, he sees the reactions, and he can gauge where people are at, because he knows the content. But you're right, like communication is about 60-70% nonverbal anyways. So it's the emotional changes that's going to occur in people that you'll be able to especially see and witness. So what would you say, how would you say what makes Real Magic, other than the length of it, what would you say makes Real Magic Live different than any other show you've done?
Well, of course, there is the aspect of the teaching, and bringing that on a higher level through your background, the magic. And I've done magic shows before, but they were purely about the magic, about the effects, about the illusions, about the mentalism, etc., etc. Here, I want to understand deeply, and I'm still in the process. I mean, we're still working on it. How are you going to bring that into the storylines? Because story is also a very important aspect. I don't have to tell you that, but for me, it also is something very important. I mean, we can do crazy things with all kind of scenography, screens, and elements, but what are we telling in the end? What is the story that we're telling with all these wow and stuff around us? People sometimes are blinded by this, but if you ask them that, what did it give you? Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was wow. But what did it give you? And this is actually my questioning also here. How can we give people something more than just the effects? We're going to enhance the story. I think that's the key.
Well, 100%. And that's how I felt when I performed just magic on cruise ships and television. It was always the question, what did they take away from this? What did they go home with? And the answer was always a postcard and a souvenir cup. But that's not enough. Like, that was never enough for me. And so I kept asking myself that question. That's really how Real Magic Live came about. I was remembering I was doing shows for a cruise ship, on a cruise line. And when the big main show was done, in the evening, the next day, I would put up a little seminar in the back lounge of the ship, in the little smoke lounge. And I would just sort of invite people, and I would do this little talk about personal development concepts and quantum physics and utilize magic. And there was always about 20, 30 people there, drinks in their hand. It was a rough crowd, cruise ships crowd. I mean, they didn't exactly come there for a seminar, but it worked. And they were like, whoa, wow, this is great. We can use this at home. At home. And that created that switch for me. It's like, okay, there's something here. There's something people actually crave, and that's growth. That's universal. No matter what country, culture, income level, there's always something in us that wants to grow. And on that note, I think we can I think we can reveal one of the effects from day 3 with the acorn, because our
Ah,
community are used to that story.
yeah.
But I would love if you could share a little bit about how we've taken that effect to the next level.
Okay. So it's the beginning of day 3. I will not explain the form and the size and everything that we
Yeah,
do
no,
with
no,
the
no, no,
stage,
that's
but
no,
I
no.
will just say people come in, and the only thing they will see in the theater is one little light beam.
Uh,
And that little light beam, intense but very small, only lights up an acorn. And the acorn is on the front part of the stage that extends into the audience. And then at some point, we will have Anders coming down the stage, coming down the audience area, actually, the scaffolding up there. And he will just calmly walk, having some connection with people around him, walking towards that one point of light, which is an acorn. He picks up the acorn and he walks towards the back of our stage, our podium, and he puts it against, let's call it the wall. And the moment he puts that down, something starts to happen. And from this acorn, something starts to grow, something starts to evolve. And that's then where the story of Anders will enhance the magic of what's going to happen there.
I love
Should I
that.
go further, or is this a bit?
No, 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 that's perfect. That's a good cliffhanger, because the law of vibration is what we teach, and law of vibration is one of the primary laws, and an acorn can only grow to it can only reproduce according to its own kind. But the acorn grows into an oak tree, but the oak tree isn't in the earth, isn't in the acorn, it's in the universe. And so people will understand that at a totally different level once they see this effect at full scale. And that's just one of the things that I really love, because it was one of Bob Proctor's big teaching lessons, and it's a principle we can apply to every area of our life. We attract based on the frequency we're on. And I know that the team we've assembled, the experts in different areas, you, Demo, your technical team, Hans, Thomas, everybody that sort of comes together to create this experience, it isn't an accident. I mean, I was emotionally involved in this idea for years and
Mm.
years and years, and everything starts to align on a physical plane because of that. But it's like that with our goals too. So that's one effect that I'm really excited about, and love seeing the renderings and everything that is coming back from you guys in that
Mm.
process. So when you're watching this and you feel like, wow, that sounds different, that's because it is. It's not a show, it's not a seminar, it's both in a live experience that stays in your heart forever. There's 3 ways to opening up a person's mind. It's fascination, agreement, or shock. Now we rule out shock, so there's fascination and agreement left. The magic will fascinate us and open our minds to a different way of thinking. But when we at the same time infuse it with teaching lessons, now they will stick emotionally at a different level than before. If it was just information, like you said before, many dry seminars, you just sit there and listen and you take notes and you go home and it just stays in the conscious intellectual mind. But with this, we truly go a step deeper. So that's a good way, Dirk, to share a never before seen concept, I guess,
Mm.
which that will
Mm.
be on day 3.
Yes.
um, and again, we can't reveal too much because the element of surprise is absolutely essential. But for
Mm.
those of you watching, I can promise you this: you've never experienced anything like this ever before anywhere in the world, nonetheless Denmark. And when we have
Yeah.
stagecraft and technology that are only usually seen in like big shows in Las Vegas and big venues around the world, coming to Odense, Denmark with this, I mean, it's gonna blow the socks off everybody, and I'm so excited about it. Dirk, I want to thank you for your time. You've been so gracious. I know you're on your little family vacation time, so
All good.
I I appreciate you for your expertise and your insights and the incredible human being that you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anderson.
Appreciate it. Wow, that is so inspirational. So for you who are watching this, um, there is a little signal in you. There's a little voice, oftentimes asking you to step in, to grow, to expand. But there's also a part of your mind that tends to shut that voice down. So there's an impulse of growth in all of us. And that's a little impulse that says, I wish I could. How would my life change if I did this, if I earned that, if I met my one and only, if I scaled up my business, created more freedom? How would my life look like? And yet, there's the other version of you that does not want to grow. It's your paradigm, it's your subjective belief system that is formed through years and years and years of conditioning, first from your parents, but then afterwards through the environment that you found yourself in. So if you are for once and for all ready to break out of that conditioning, to align yourself with growth oriented human beings just like you that wants to break through to the next level in their business, to the next level in their life, Real Magic Live is the place to be. And again, there's really good opportunities now to secure your ticket at a favorable rate. So the prices actually might go up one last time as we get closer to the event, depending on capacity. So you right now can secure a ticket for yourself. We're over halfway sold out for VIPs and platinum VIPs. And just type RML in the chat, and we'll send you the invitation. It's going to be really great. Camila says, sounds awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be great. It will be something you'll never forget. That I promise you. So for those of you who still want to secure yourself a ticket, make sure you do it right now. The prices have never been better. It's RML in the chat. We'll send you an invitation. You can secure your own ticket, of course. And like I said before, you can secure 2 tickets at a time, and that will save you a bit. You can secure 4 tickets at a time. And if you do, you will save an entire ticket. You will actually only pay for 3 and you'll receive 4. And I had a family not too long ago that made the decision to purchase 4. There were only 2, but they wanted to bring some of their other family members, and they didn't ask them if they wanted to come. They bought the tickets knowing that once the tickets were bought, the likelihood of the other 2 family members going with them were bigger. So that's a great way to invite the ones you love out into growth with you. The gift of personal development is the best gift in the world. So share this with friends, family, business partners, colleagues. They will come back to you and thank you for inviting them to this experience. That is for sure. It's October 3rd to the 5th in Odense, Denmark. It's going to be the very first time in this new format, and you will not want to miss it. And if you're going to miss it, you're going to be the person going, I wish I had done. Don't be that person. Make the decision. And resources, space in the calendar, all of that follows after you made the decision. So the shows Dirk has designed, the shows that the rest of the team has designed are literally world-class, and it's an opportunity for you now to experience world-class in your life by joining Real Magic Live, which is designed to not just entertain you and motivate you, but truly, like Dirk said, to transform you. So RML, just put that in the chat and we'll send you the invitation for the experience and the show of a lifetime. Remember, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's all the illusions of who you think you're not. We'll see you at Real Magic Live, and let us know in the chat if you have your ticket and what you're looking forward to the most. Bye for now.